Welcome to our series on elder accountability, a strategy to be steadfast. In our first session, we looked at the behemoth issue of elder accountability as it relates to the area of sexual temptation. But now I want to broaden the scope and look at just accountability for elders in general. I want to look more broadly at elder accountability as it relates to the role and function and effectiveness of an elder. What are some practical ways for elders as a team to be faithful to their calling and responsibility and privilege as a pastoral elder? So I want to start off by just saying it's hard to get around the fact that ministry in the New Testament is shared ministry. This is just a simple, obvious fact of New Testament ministry. Jesus sends out his disciples 2 by 2. There was a built-in accountability and stimulation and protection that came with plurality. Exercise experts will tell you, and you probably know this to be true yourself, that when you work out with someone or you have plans to work out with someone, the rate of effectiveness or the rate of actually doing it increases a lot versus just doing it by yourself. And if something comes up, well, then you don't really need to exercise. Well, really the same is true in ministry. We all, or at least a lot of us, have a profound tendency towards minimalism. It's the sin nature. Left to ourselves, we are pretty pathetic. But part of the genius of plural leadership, part of the genius of God's design, is that there's really a built-in mechanism for accountability. Shared leadership helps mitigate our own weaknesses and our own selfishness. Pastors, for instance, who are lone rangers can get away with a lot. No one really knows what they're doing. They're not really accountable to anyone. But pastoral ministry was never meant to be a lone ranger type ministry. We need each other. We need peers because we need accountability. Now, biblical pastoral ministry is plain and simply hard work. It's a burden in some ways, but it should be a shared burden where we help one another and support one another and we also keep each other accountable and on task to do what the Lord's called us to do. All that being said, it's not as though accountability among elders just happens. Unless certain things are done, accountability among elders will probably just be a theory and not a reality. So, what are some practical things that elders can do to cultivate and foster an ethos of accountability among the eldership team? So let's start with number 1. This is basic. Regular elders meetings. Alex Strauch has written a wonderful little book on this. If you haven't read, you should read, called Meetings That Work. How to have effective elders meetings. Lots of practical things in there. But this is point number 1. If you want elders to be accountable and get work done, they've got to meet together. We would suggest once a week, where tasks are assigned, duties need to be done. It keeps people on task. It forces elders to make the call, make the visit, get to work. It really forces us in a good way to do the work of an elder. Elders' meetings are really like having a workout partner. We might not do the work otherwise. Regular elders' meetings are so crucial for maintaining a regular level of pastoral care. You just have to have them. When elders don't meet frequently, things slow down, duties get dropped, and ultimately the people suffer. So regular meetings are a great way to protect against lazy, derelict eldership. God forbid that elders claim the office of the elder, but never actually do the hard work of shepherding. So you need to have elders meetings, and they need to be effective elders meetings. Second of all, have in your eldership job descriptions and reviews. This is another practical tool that we would just highly recommend to you. We don't want elders who have no idea what their responsibilities are. It can become, and we've seen this a lot of times, easy for elders just to be elders by name and not really ever do the work of an elder. When I first started off in ministry, I was at a church that was a senior pastor structured, and then we had a team of deacons. The deacons had been there for years, and I was the new senior pastor, even though I rejected that title. But I was showing them from Scripture that a plurality of eldership is really a more biblical model for church leadership. And one of the deacons who'd been a deacon for years said, "Phew, that sounds great. I've been working so hard as a deacon. It'd be nice to just be a board elder and sort of give these responsibilities to other people. Let other people do the work and I'll take a break." But I had to gently correct his misguided understanding of what elders do. Many elders have no specific oversight. They have no specific responsibilities. They have no idea what they should be doing. They just sort of see themselves as kind of a bored elder, which is not a biblical elder. They have no area of oversight. Well, that is just a wonderful recipe for a lackluster church. That's a great way to get nothing done. Instead, we would encourage you to write up a job description for each elder. Divide up all the aspects of the oversight of the church where you're serving. And have an elder that will take the lead in each of these different areas, that takes the lead in the youth ministry, that takes the lead in overseeing the women's ministry, the men's ministry, the Sunday school, the teaching ministry, and the teaching schedule. You can even split up the missionaries. So each elder is to take the lead on communicating, for instance, with missionaries and being a liaison between the missionaries, the church, the elders. Now, this doesn't mean that elders don't have a say in the other areas of the church, but each elder is taking the lead and bringing that information and bringing that leadership to the rest of the eldership team. Of course, all major decisions should be brought to the eldership, but this really helps guard against this whole reality that if everyone is in charge, really no one is in charge. And this brings a proper level of accountability. Are you doing your job? Then at least once a year, spend time going over each elder's job description with all the elders. Now, in some cases, you may look at an elder who's been serving and truly they're doing so much. They're workaholics. They're getting a lot done. But you may say, you know what, this is unsustainable. You're going to burn out. And let's take some stuff off your plate. So we'll move this stuff on your job description over to Jim or John just to free you up to do these things or to free you up so you don't have a nervous breakdown. In other cases, you might actually say gently, so what are you actually doing? Are you doing anything as an elder? Do you need to take a break from the eldership? Maybe life is such where you're actually not able to do any work as an elder. That's okay. Let's talk about what it means to maybe give you a sabbatical or maybe step down permanently from this. So having job descriptions and having reviews are a wonderful way of just keeping some level of accountability of getting the work that we've been assigned done. We're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we're going to look at some more practical ideas for elders to be accountable.